Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity to practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day.
Okay, now so welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Colin Smith Brooks. Basically this episode is going to talk about what exactly caused that how I ended up my third year in university. What really caused that fall short and not getting that not 3.0 GPA, you know. And if you have listened to the podcast, that you would have heard various reasons. So you don't hear about the non-academic reasons, so like the partying in the third year, and that and then the first part of it with the lady. Yeah. So, but no, this episode is going to talk more about the academic part of it. What really happened. Because I guess for persons going in my field, what I was doing, biochemistry, I can't say you'll go through the same thing. I guess if you're in went to the University of West Indies like I did, you might, but yeah, that's all my experiences, so you can kind of get it. So basically, how it goes is this. So back doing my degree now, I would have mentioned it before. My degree. So how it sets is that the courses that I would do, that's for my degree. If it was only those courses, the it will still be a very challenging degree, but it will be very manageable because we would have a good amount of time to actually focus on doing the tasks that we are get to do. So we would have a lot of free time to actually study, and more time to actually study and such, because it was not a lot of courses. It was just a lot of it was just a good amount of subjects that you just really course intensive. A lot of things to learn. But if it was only those, you would have enough time, and even though it's hard, you would. I still could have confidently, get a alright GPA, like a. But what happened was basically because of the university criteria. So not my degree criteria, but the university criteria. I had to do extra courses outside of that department to actually make up the credits that I needed to actually graduate from the university. So if I only did those courses, I would not get the degree. I would have graduated. I would reach the third year, and basically when I finish and pass every course, they said, you have to actually spend 3 more years, because you have to do some extra more courses, So that's how it is, And you didn't know that coming into the university until you actually know, So that was one of the wild things. Actually, when I actually knew about it was when we were entering second year. So in second year now, I had to actually start decide what I was going to do. So many of the people now doing my course and such, the extra course that I would take I would be some easier courses. So they would take up some business courses, and maybe some would do a minor in like management studies, some business, because those it would be in the social science, and that would be a much easier course compared to doing some other things, and it would be very course intensive compared to our degree. But me now, I know just said okay, doing the business courses is okay. I did do some courses from social science, but I said okay, I wanted to do something, do a minor that will actually work, that will actually be beneficial to me, So basically, what I chose was computer science. So computer science, I was pretty okay with in programming, as I actually got a very good grade when I did my CXC and such. And it would be something beneficial, as the plan was if I can get a job in the science field, I could get a job in programming. And if you remember, one of my first jobs that I actually got was in the programming field. So, I was thinking ahead when I was choosing that. So boom, we're doing it, and then I started to do some course. So in the second year, I started taking up some first year courses for computer science, because you have to do the first year courses. Then when you pass those, then you get to do the second year courses. So what happened is based on how I do it is, when I reach third year, I will be doing a lot of courses. Like all my credits will be filled with courses. But when I actually finish, I would have all the credit requirements. So basically, the game plan is I had a no fail policy. I could not fail any of the courses, or else it would throw me off. But but if you listen to some of the previous episode, you'd have heard that I failed in third year. I wanted to fail one of the courses, but it was one of those. But I might address that again, but I don't have to talk about it. So I actually went into started going to the computer science class now. So the first year was pretty easy in that most of the stuff that we were learning, I have actually learned it before, because there was one summer when I actually tried to learn some programming language just for fun, because I never really had anything to do, and it came in handy. So basically, when I was learning the courses, it was pretty easy. But what I've realized was that the people who were actually doing the computer science course as their major, their main degree in first year, some of them looked like they barely they were rookies. They were rookies. And it kind of makes sense. They were first years and such, but they look like, some of them look like they never picked up a computer in their life. And it's like, yo, that's they're going to do the degree. So it was a fun experience to actually see it. And I was doing the class, and then first year was a breeze. And I actually doing those courses actually brought up my GPA in second year, because it was such a breeze. So what happened now? Second year courses now. So boom, second year courses, and now I'm in third year. So I'm in third year, and so I'm in my last year of the university, doing my third year biochemistry courses, and then I'm doing the courses that I needed to do for computer science, for the computer science minor in third year. So it will be a couple second year courses. So this third year now got a little tricky. So combining all this previous stories now. So if you remember, in third year, I decided that I told on my dorm, I told the cluster that we lived in, I told him that okay, I'm going to be the treasurer for the cluster, so that we can go on a cluster trip, because I never went on any during my first year, my second year, or the third year. So I said, okay, my third year I'm going to try to fix up this monopoly so it's actually a solid monopoly, So that was one of my first things that I picked up. When I actually got back on the hall now, one of my RA, which was resident advisor, when I was the domestic affairs chairman in the second year, and I did so well that the RA decided that okay, he wanted to recruit me to do Preston a media thing with them, where basically we host a radio station, and he wanted to be a team member. So basically what happened was I took up those things, and then I'm doing third year, which was pretty hard. The next thing that actually came up now was that my courses now, the time for the classes started to clash. Like certain courses, the lecture days are the same, so I had to choose the important ones. Some of the computer science courses clashed with my lab days for biochemistry, so I couldn't go to them. So all of that was going wrong. And going back to my first year time, I have this funny story to talk about. So when I was actually starting, so in computer science we also have labs as well. So what we do in the lab is basically they give you a sheet to do, and you basically create some program based on the work and the problems that you give us. So create some program. So basically what happened now, when I actually go in my first day to do the labs, I found one of my friends from the dorm that knows me was actually there, and it was funny. So we actually started to work together and do the problem sets and work, and every week we come together, we do it, and we done, and we get hundreds. Around the third week now, I came in, I don't see this bro. I'm like, what happened? What happened to him? Didn't see him. The fourth week, didn't see him. The fifth week, I didn't see him. I was like, yo, what happened to this guy, bro? So basically one time I'm on the hall, and then I found him. And then I said, yo, what happened? I'm not seeing you in the labs. What happened? The boss like, yo, I dropped the degree. I stopped doing the computer science. I'm doing economics now. I'm like, oh, what? It's like, what? It's like this guy he was doing well in the courses, but this man decided that, okay, I'm not going to drop this course and do economics because I'm more into that. And it's like, it's one of those things where I say, you have to just do what you got to do. So basically, I was on my own then. And I guess I have to pause the story now for a while and come back in a sec, Give me a second. Alright, and now we're back at it again, So basically, continuing the story now. So, we're doing the second year courses now. So, it kind of get a little tricky, as I mentioned. Class clashes. And then what happened now, the second year courses involves a lot more group work. So that's where things get a lot more interesting, So basically, what happened now? So the first one is software engineering. So what happened basically is, so as I mentioned before, I'm doing some of the second year computer science courses in third year, and the reason is that I'm doing the minor. So the minor doesn't require me to do all 3-year courses. I just need to do the first year courses requirement that is required to unlock the second year courses that I need to get the minor, which is about 15 credits. That will be about a few courses, about I don't remember, but it's a courses to give me about 15 or 30. I don't remember, but it was enough credits to give me the minor, and then I would do other courses from social science to just make up the credits, So the plan is basically I was going to graduate a bachelor's of science in biochemistry with a minor in computer science. That would be so cool on my degree, But yeah, but like I said, I tell you what happened. So the group work. So the first course is one that I remember about is software engineering. So in one of the main thing I want to remember why I mentioned the third year, that thing is that because when I read third year, the second year now would have known me because I was the domestic affairs chairman from the hall. So they would just know me. My popularity there was known, and also people didn't know me. I have people, so you have people in second year that know of me because I was their super senior. I was their senior the year before, so basically one of the classes now that I'm actually going into now, which requires the group work software engineering. I'm outside now just waiting on the class to start. Couple seconds later I see somebody that I know from the hall come in and said, "Oh, you doing the course too?" I'm like, yeah. So we just chilling and just talking and such, And then we go in and then boom. He wasn't doing computer science, but he was doing the course that he was doing, the major that he was doing, it was required. It was recommended that he do some computer science course because he was doing statistics or something like that. Basically, I went in now. We realized that we have to form a group because the whole course is basically a group work. We are trying to build a program for a client. We are trying to build a program for a client to solve a problem. That's essentially the course. So luckily enough, because of him, he actually knows some people that came to the class, and we formed a group, and that was very beneficial because he was pretty solid at programming. I was pretty solid at programming. There was one person that was pretty solid at the team management, so she helped us to. She did with all the non-programming stuff like the typing up and organizing the team and such like that. So it was a very solid team, that one. That very solid team. The next course now was a hardware course where we learn about the hardware part of the computer. So we go very basic. We talk about assembly language, the lowest level of language, and we're learning about that. And that was a pretty hard course because of the lowest level of language is it really takes some time to actually get it. And as I said, third year I'm swamped with many courses. I'm doing my degree plus all these other courses, so I had to just it takes some time. But what happened was, lucky enough, there was a thing that went around that had some tips and tricks and such that made learning the course easier, and then when the tutorials and work came in, it was easy to actually do. But the funniest part of it was the group work aspect of it. And the funny thing about this group work aspect, it was the lecturer that is choosing the groups. And if you remember when I said I'm doing this as a minor, so when I actually went into the department, I really know anyone in this that does computer science. Only the few that I actually met up from hers. I was pretty. So when the group was set up, most of the people I never knew. It's like the first time they see me. So, but I had to just work with them, do my part, and just try to make the best of it. And end up that I actually did pretty solid on that course, So those were the two nice courses. So the next or last semester now, what happened now? This was where everything, the rating fall off. So if what happened my last semester is I failed two courses. I failed one in the computer science degree that prevented me from getting the computer science minor, and I failed one in my degree, in my biochemistry degree. So I had to do the summer school. So what happened now was basically that the course that I was doing was called System Design, and we were learning the C programming language. And the C programming language is not an easy language to learn. It's not something that you can just go in, um, do a couple practice and swat a couple stuff, and then you'll get it. It actually takes some time to actually learn the language. And while I was pretty fast at learning, I was not fast enough to catch it, you know. And I was just pushing through, doing the best that I can. And I was good enough to keep up for a while. But what happened was, no, the last part of the course was a group work again. And this time now, the group that I got was terrible. As I said, this time it was some people that I actually know from my hall again. But this time they are terrible, bro. They don't know how to program. They don't know how to program. But my thought was that I could just carry them. You know, the plan was I just need the group members, and then what happened was I just carry them. I just do the work and just carry it and just and they're just there to, get the marks and whatnot. But what happened was, as I said before, third year I became the treasurer for my hall. I'm trying to do the work and giving them parts. What happened was the time got up to me, and then I finally broke through and get the thing set up for the cluster trip. Now, the cluster trip was on a Sunday, and we are ready. I'm going on the cluster trip. On the day now, when I'm going to the cluster trip, I get a call from one of the group members like, "Yo, we actually need you to come help." I'm like, "Bro, I have to go on the cluster trip." Like the plan was they get a part to do, I'm doing my part, and so when they call that, they don't really know what to do, and when they say I need to come and go help them, I'm like, "Yo, bro, I have to go on this trip, bro. I'm going on a cluster trip. When I come back, we have to deal with that." So I went on a cluster trip now, enjoying the cluster trip, but part of me was realizing that, bro, these guys really, really don't, really going to make me have to carry them. So enjoy the cluster trip, went back, realized that they basically did nothing. So I had to start from scratch carrying, and it ended up that we never did that much, because I had to do most of it. So I ended up not doing. I did enough to get us a few marks, a good amount of marks, but the teacher was like, "Yo, bro, this program is trash, bro. You guys basically did nothing, but we did enough of the couple parts to get some marks that I guess that I actually passed the coursework portion of it. So all I had to do now was to pass the final exam. And what happened was, for the final exam, as I said, I procrastinated a lot, but that last semester, because that last semester I never felt, I felt I was coming into the final semester too cocky, confident, due to my last semester feeling good, and then the last semester I never felt the urge to study, because at that point the degree really felt easy. Like I was just on cruise control the whole time. I was on cruise control the whole time. I was just clicking. But when I actually preparing, I realized that I have to just take this L because that's how cruise control I was. I knew going into the exam know that basically if certain things ever happen, I'm going to fail this one. And I went in and I basically could pass the course, but one question that I practiced for and prepared for, I forgot how to do it, and boom, that caused the L. I finished with 51% fail exam, which means that I did enough to get around I got around 31 out of 40 for my coursework, but for the exam portion of it, which were 60%, I got only 29. I think it was like that, 20, 29 or 21 or so, But whatever happened, I basically ended up with 51%, which 51% means that I would have passed the course, but because of how the 51% is split, I actually get 51% fail exam, which means I failed the final exam, so I don't get to pass the course. And I felt that, and then, as I said, I procrastinated a lot. That other courses I failed, when I thought I could, I didn't. I know I could have really learned so much stuff during that one night and day. And it's like, I tried my best, but it never worked out because that third year was really, it was two things colliding. It was the third year is hard, but me coming in on cruise control and just this confident feeling, bro, it was working against me bad. So that was basically it with what happened with that third year, what really caused that 2.98 GPA. The extra part of it is that the summer portion of it, I could have raised it up back to 3, but I didn't get enough. I didn't get enough to carry it up back to 3.0. But as I said, that was way back in 2018. We're here now. I have to embrace this L, but we reached this far. And it's really a chink in the armor, It really tripped me up for a while. But we have to we can't always be winning. But I guess that is the chink in my armor for the science community. I have to take that L. And my life will be trying to redeem that L, That's my life. That's my life now. And so that's basically it. I hope you might take something from it. Don't be like me. Take the third year serious. The third year is really a tough year. I guess the tip, I told you this tip before, but the best thing that I can tell you is that get someone to help you motivate you, because I think what also happened my third year was that I went solo. My third year I went solo. I said, okay, because one of my friends was doing biotechnology, not biochemistry. So we split up in third year. So I actually went solo, and I guess the confidence really tripped me out. I was never I was a hard procrastinator before, and the thing that kind of helped me first and second year was having someone that actually wasn't a procrastinator, that actually forced me to study, which helped me. Third year, I was just running only on pure talent. And talent, I guess my talent wasn't enough to carry me to the finish line. Yeah. So I have to just say that I embrace that L. So the best thing I can tell you is work with somebody. Find somebody that actually is solid in the course that you're doing, and they can help carry you through. Alright, thank you for listening to this episode. And look forward for the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
What I've realized is girls or women's ability to just block people and move on, because it's a very interesting ability, as I've experienced it 2 times that I can recall from two different women. And you have to just really look at it and be like, wow, somebody that you talk to a good amount of time, they kind of simply say, oh, I'm done with you, and just simply, just move on. And it's like, you have to really look at myself and be like, maybe it's just me, that's just in my feels. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so I'm just invested a lot. And them then just